Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's wild again. Listen, it's wild, and it just keeps getting wilder and worse and worse and worse. I'm calling it now. I'm totally changing it, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, all conspiracies are now true. I'm not even going to try and debunk them anymore. Anybody comes to me with a conspiracy, my initial go-to is right. Rather than try and debunk that, I'm just going to say, yeah, okay, that's true until somebody tells me that it's not, until somebody presents to me evidence that these conspiracies are not true. Because the Epstein files, ladies and gentlemen, are releasing something deeper and darker than we could all possibly imagine. I'm talking about the occult. I'm talking about esoteric practices. I'm talking about the worst parts of biblical scripture. I'm talking about the worst parts of ancient history. I'm talking about ancient knowledge. And it's all been unraveled in front of us. So what I'm going to do in this live stream, guys, I'm going to give you an update on the Epstein files. I'm going to talk about the occult meaning to this, and I'm going to go down the esoteric road. I'm then going to ask you guys what's coming next, because clearly we are living through a time in history where the old paradigm, the old guard is being removed and a new guard is going to be put in its place. Now, I would suspect that the old guard aren't really going to remove themselves. What I'm going to suspect is they're going to relocate. Now, I could probably point you, do you know what, guys? I could probably point you the fingers where they're going from, where they're going to, and who's taken over as their main procurer. Yep, that's what I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, because the information is all out there in front of you. All you have to do, like, you know, this should be on a t-shirt, right? Let your eyes tell you the truth, okay? Let your eyes tell you the truth. All this stuff's out there readily available. So before we get onto it, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share my stuff if you can. Let's just get onto it, because there's going to be a lot to go through tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This, like, do you guys know that brand? And I'll probably touch on this in a minute. Do you know what the brand Balenciaga? Do you know that brand? Have you looked into them? Do you know what the word Balenciaga means? Do you guys know what that means? Ladies and gentlemen, listen. You know that brand that everybody's wearing the coats and the tops and everyone, oh God, look at, yeah man, I've got a Balenciaga coat. It was 12 grand. It's right warm. Like, you know what I'm talking about, right? Balenciaga. Literally, go and put Balenciaga into Google Translate while I'm doing my opening monologue, okay? Literally, right? Just this stuff's not being hidden from us anymore. So as far as I'm concerned, right, all conspiracies are now true. Somebody comes up and tells me that blood-sucking alien reptilians are running the world. I'm like, right, okay. That's what I'm just going to agree with it from now on, guys, because the amount of conspiracies and wild things on the internet that have been proven true by the Epstein files, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's one of those things I wish I'd not seen. However, why are we being allowed to see this? There's going to be a paradigm shift. There's going to be a new world order. And the same people that were in charge are going to move. I'm going to tell you now. I'll tell you where they're going. They're going to move to Ukraine. I promise you guys, this global elite, this global elite that's controlling the world, right? If there is one, I promise you, they are moving. They're going to move to Ukraine. That's where they're going. That's going to be their new headquarters. I promise you, that's where they're going, guys. Right, let me get on to this Balenciaga. Seriously, guys, while I'm doing my monologue, right, while I'm doing my opening monologue, just put into Google Translate what it literally means, the translation, because it blew my sophisticated, beautiful, fantastic, overdeveloped mind. So, ladies and gentlemen, settle in your chairs, sit back, maybe get a stiff drink, because tonight we are venturing into the shadows. Yes, we're going to go into the shadows. We're going to go into those dark corners that we pretend are not happening. We're going to try and wake people up who are only pretending to be asleep. Those people who are only pretending to be asleep, you guys need to accept that you are in a spiritual war right now. If the Epstein files are true, remember, they may not be true. Could all be fake. The Epstein files, this could all be fake. I want it to be fake, right? So the latest dumps by the Epstein files, those millions of pages from the American Justice Department in, whenever it was, this month, last month, can't remember, have given us a fresh glimpse into Jeffrey Epstein's world. While they expose financial slights, leaked secrets, and elite names, there's something quieter, something darker, something more sinister and unsettling. A dark web threading its way through all the paperwork. And it's the occult, it's the esoteric, and it's the downright arcane. So picture this, if you will, ladies and gentlemen. The notorious private island in the Caribbean. The tabloids are calling it all sorts of names, but we're just going to call it the Caribbean island for now. St. James's Island. Perched on a high point overlooking the turquoise sea and the beautiful beaches, stands a particular blue and white striped building with a golden dome, officially permitted as a music pavilion. It became something far stranger, a cube-like structure that conspiracy theorists dubbed a temple. Now, anytime you see a cube, anytime you see a cube in symbology, a cube relates to Satan, right? Shaitan. So, you know the cube in Mecca that they're all walking around? Certainly a black cube. A black cube would be a direct... a black cube is a direct... it's a metaphor for Satan, right? It's a metaphor for Satan. So, and that comes from the planet Saturn, with the rings. And if you look on the top of... is it the top or the bottom? I think it's the top of Satan. There's a hexagon. And a hexagon is a 2D representation of a cube. Of a 3D, of a cube. So recent files released, including interior photos and, dingy mattresses on the floor, but above them, an elaborate hand-painted ceiling mural, clouds drifting across a sky backdrop interwoven with zodiac signs, constellations, mythical creatures, animals, and seafaring symbols. Now, look, let me be quite clear, right? I don't think that in itself is anything untoward. I don't. But what we can understand is the guy, whoever does this decorating, whoever told those painters to go in, he's probably not all there, right? And I'll let you guys know honestly. I had a person come into my house in my living room, and I asked them to quote me a picture. You know the picture on the Sistine Chapel on the ceiling where I think it's Michelangelo who did it, where God is touching like fingers with a man. It's like God. I said, right, would you be able to paint me that same picture on my ceiling, but depicting me as the man, as in like God's giving me his knowledge? It was just too expensive, so I couldn't have it done. But, and I'm totally sane. I am totally sane, all right? Anyway, so I just wanted to throw that out there. Now, others are pointing to the dome's design resembling a lot of sacred geometry from the Kabbalah, from Freemasonry. There's been no hard proof of rituals inside. There's no altar or, But it's a start, right? Because it's clearly not a music venue. It's clearly it's like a chapel or a church or something. It's not a music venue, right? And then there's Epstein's own reading habits, laid bare in 18,000 emails, which Bloomberg obtained, which I think Bloomberg have gone through them. Amid the usual self-help, finance, and, you know, all the rest of it, he repeatedly ordered books, and this is where it gets weird. If you know this subject matter. He repeatedly ordered books steeped in the occult, guides to Western Tantra, sex magic, drawn from Aleister Crowley. Now, if you guys know who Aleister Crowley is, you've saved me a lot of time. If you don't know who Aleister Crowley is, don't Google him, right? Do not Google that guy because it's not worth it. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. That's what he used to say, Aleister Crowley. He's a dark man. He's a dark man. And also, just for context, he's a dark man. He was a magician. And he's also one of the founder members of NASA. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Just, is it NASA or Jet Propulsion Lab? Give me a second. Let me Google this. Hang on. Jet Propulsion Laboratory, sorry. So, it's not NASA, it's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Aleister Crowley did not work for NASA. However, he heavily influenced Jack Parsons, a pioneering rocket engineer and key founder of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. So, sorry, it was all the same thing, right? They developed together. And just so you guys know, Parsons practiced Aleister Crowley's sex magic and considered himself to be a prophet. Some fucking wild shit, guys. There's some wild shit. And it keeps. The further you go back, the more links you find to earlier history. I think I may be going mad, guys. So we've got, a Crowley disciple who blended tantric techniques with the Tree of Life. He had Donald Michael's books on erotic spirituality and a rare Crowley instruction pop up too. Now, I don't even know what that means. Epstein wasn't just skimming Wikipedia. He was buying deep into a world where sexuality meets mysticism, where power is supposed to be harnessed through forbidden rituals. His fascination with eugenics, transhumanism, does that not echo the darker sides of Aleister Crowley's Satanism? Because I don't think you can put it another way. Across the Epstein files, whispers of occult activity surfaced. Lawyers for victims describing recruitment through what felt like a religious group, not Christianity. A garbled scan of one document sparked viral claims of a bank account tied to Baal. And if you guys have Googled what the word Balenciaga means, you're going to start to be connecting a lot of dots here. Experts, however, were calling this a printing error of a bank name. Still, I don't know. In the fever of online speculation, which is what this video is, ladies and gentlemen. This video is speculation, analysis, and opinion, and it's for entertainment purposes. I don't want to get a knock at the door or my kids go missing. An elite network of billionaires and oligarchs dabbling in ancient gods, child exploitation, some twisted rituals on Epstein Island. Is that what's been going on? The evidence that's been released slowly, it's painting a picture. And look, I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, the questions linger. Here in Britain, we're still reeling from Mandelson's fall, the Prince of Darkness. They even called him the Prince of Darkness. So the Prince of Darkness has fallen. Prince Andrew, or Andy Windsor's settlements, and our own history of establishment scandals. I don't think people would be. I don't think people are wrong to wonder, was Epstein's empire just about money, blackmail, and sexual gratification? Or did it draw from something older, something darker, something more ritualistic? The temple with the zodiac signs, the books that he was reading, the island isolated for secret gatherings. It's the stuff that screams secret societies, forbidden knowledge. So as we continue to sift through these files and more information comes to light and more headlines hit the news, ask yourselves, how much of this elite world is built on mundane sins that we already understand? We already understand, don't we? We already understand. Man find woman attractive. Man old and let himself go, but got lots of money. Man still find, you understand that, right? So ask yourselves, how much of this elite world is built on the mundane sins we already know and understand? And how much is built on the shadows that we dare not name? And the information is coming out to us now. Why? Why is the information being given to us now? I think this is because there's a big paradigm shift coming. The people, the cabal of evildoers who control the world, maybe not. I think they are setting up the people below them for a fall, and the people at the top are just going to move. And then everybody's going to think, oh, we did it. We rid the world of this darkness. No. We didn't rid the world of no darkness. The darkness has probably just moved, changed their names. The darkness is still going to be there, guys. Okay. It's just wild, So as far as I'm concerned, right now, like every conspiracy, right, that somebody throws out to me, I'm just gonna say, yep, that's true. I don't even care what it is anymore. I don't care what it is. Any conspiracy that somebody throws out to me, I'm just gonna throw this to be. I'm just gonna say it's real. I'm just gonna say it's real. I'm not even gonna try and debunk people anymore. If somebody comes up with a wild conspiracy now, I'm just gonna say, wow, dude, that's wild. Yeah, I believe you. Until somebody comes out and somebody else debunks it, because I'm sick of debunking these conspiracies or using my analytical mind to tear down these conspiracies and think, yeah, that's not happening because of that. That's not happening because of that. That can't happen. Humans wouldn't do that. I'm sick of thinking that I'm going to stop thinking that humans are good. I am. I'm going to stop thinking that generally, I'm not going to stop thinking that. I do think generally humans are good. But there's an undertone in these Epstein files which leads you to something far, far darker than Mandelson in his pants. Oh, look at Mandelson in his pants. Oh, God, look, I don't give a shit about Mandelson in his pants. I'm more interested about the money that's been donated to find psychic abilities. Like, what? Did they find them? Tell me what happened. I'm more concerned about all the paintings on Epstein's walls with people's feet covered in red paint. Let's just call it red paint. I'm more concerned about the film with Tom Hanks where he's wearing one red shoe. I'm more concerned about when I heard this wild conspiracy about red Balenciaga shoes. People who wear red Balenciaga shoes and me thinking, yeah, that's what? Shut up. You wacky conspiracy theorists. You go, yeah, the moon's made of cheese. The moon's made of cheese, right? The moon is made of cheese. And then you Google, do you know what? I'm going to do it for you now. I'm going to show it with you. I may have spelt this wrong. I'm sorry, I spelt it on BALENCIAGA. Right. Right. Sorry. Let me just. Sorry, my spelling's not what it used to be. Balenciaga is not a word I spell often. How can I paste? Why do I paste that? Oh, I can't paste it. I can't paste it. All right. Okay. BEL. BAL. Right. BAL. Oh, I can't find it. Right. It's not working. Right. It did it on my phone. Right. This did it on my phone straight away. It said detect language. There we are. Detect language. It's not doing it. Okay. Right. I did this before. And it said Balenciaga translated is Bali's king. Right, this is weird. This is so weird. Give me a second. I might be spelling it wrong. Give me a second. Copy. Right, let's just copy and paste this. Let's see what... I might have spelt it wrong. Hang on. Or some... Oh, this is going to be wild. Right, What? Right, detect language. Right, it's not working. Language detect, that's not English. Latin to English. What the fuck? Guys, am I going mad here? Am I going mad? It's not working. Right, look, I know what my eyes saw. Right, earlier on today on my phone, right? Earlier on today on my phone, I went onto my phone. I've got Google Translate on my phone. And I put into Google Translate Balenciaga, the brand, right? And the translation, he said, detect language. I don't know what language it was. He said, detect language. He said, yeah, language detected. And literally the translation for Balenciaga was Bal is king. I went cold. Because when you start to like, but now I'm doing it on this thing here. I'm doing it on Google Translate on my computer, and I don't know, maybe I've got the settings wrong or something. I don't know. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are going to be focusing on these Epstein. I said last night on the live stream, I said I was going to draw a line under the Epstein files. I said I was going to go no further. I can't help myself now. The depths, the implications on transhumanism, mathematics, alternate mathematics, theoretical mathematics, science. I mean, I watched an Epstein interview, right? He's ridiculously intelligent. He's like ridiculously intelligent. Like, he's so smart. the breadth and depth that he was answering these questions, I was like, wow, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I would like to have a conversation. He seems like a guy I'd have a conversation with. And then I started to think, right, okay, who's taken over? Right, guys, put in the chat who you think's taken over from Epstein. I know who's taken over from Epstein 100%. 100%. So if you think you had before Epstein, right, you had Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hefner went under the radar. Fucking hell! Playboy bunnies! Oh, shit. Playboy bunnies. Guys, who was on the live stream last night? Oh, my God. It's been there in plain sight all the time. Jesus Christ. Guys, honestly, you guys can't see this, but the hairs have stuck up all over my body. Remember last night when we were talking about adrenochrome and how literally last night on the... Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. Last night on the live stream, right, we went down this wild rabbit hole where the chemical formula for adrenochrome looks like a bunny, right? So what I said to you is I went straight to Alice in Wonderland. I was like, Jesus Christ, when was Alice in Wonderland written? Alice in Wonderland was written in like 1856 or I don't know. Go and watch last night's live stream. And I said last night on the live stream, from now on, anytime you hear a white bunny or a bunny, you've got to assume it's adrenochrome. Who did Jeffrey Epstein take over from? Hugh Hefner. There's no... Come on, guys. Are we really saying rich and elites go to a party? What happens in the grotto stays in the grotto. I got to dress like a little bunny. Bunnies! Bunnies represent adrenochrome. Jesus. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Jesus. I really want Putin to hurry up with his tanks because I don't want to go down this rabbit hole any further. Rabbit hole! Rabbit hole! Right. Let me get some chat. Christendom Defender is saying it goes way deeper than you understand. David Rourke saying, been mental for the last few hours round the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, there's, yes. I was going to touch this, but I was going to touch this. But I'd already done the script for this. So, David O'Rourke is saying, round the Strait of Hormuz, it's been crazy. The Iranians have fired Shahed drone. It was a single Shahed drone at one of the US aircraft. I mean, good luck. Like, really, good luck. And tried to take over a US oil tanker. What I've said many times, ladies and gentlemen, is the future of naval warfare is asymmetric naval warfare. Luke's apples. And what fine? Listen, I know that Luke has got some fine apples. I'm sure. Listen, I've heard what people have been talking about Luke's apples. Luke's apples is saying British police, in coordination with French authorities, have handed out several notices to British citizens who routinely travel to Calais to report on the migrant crisis. Well, that's not me. I've been once. I found all I need to know, and I came back and I told you guys what was going to happen, didn't I? Luke, literally, you know what I said? I went out to Cali once, right? And I came back and I said, right, the solution to Cali is we need to form our own NGO. Contact me. I can do that. Nobody contacted me. Danny Tomo and all his mates, they wanted to go out there. You know, they wanted to go out there for the clout. I shouldn't say that, actually. They did a good job. But they were going out there for clout as well. They went out there, and I said, look, without a legal framework to protect yourselves, you guys are going to get arrested. You're going to get banned from the country, and then it's over. Which is what's happened. Duchess is saying, please add Donnie Darko into your White Rabbit theory. I don't know what that is. What's Donnie Darko? I don't know what Donnie Darko is. The band? Guys, can somebody help me out? What's Donnie Darko? I mean, I mean, do I need to Google it? Right, I'm going to jump up, guys. There's a lot of comments. On here. Band again is saying, for your information, Muhammad's mum and dad worshipped Baal. Like, where are you getting that from? Like, can you guys give me like can you guys give me that, like, some information on that, because I've got a lot of information going through my head at the moment. Slim is saying, the name Balenciaga is a Basque surname originating from the northern... Right. Listen, guys, I put into my phone earlier Balenciaga translated, like from Latin or something, and literally the translation came up as like, I think it was like Baal is king. I just did it then on my computer, and I got the same thing. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. Do you know what? Let me just actually Google this. No, I put this in. Right. I know what I saw. The devil may wear Prada, but the devil is Balenciaga. Right, I'm going to have to do another deep dive into this, because I know what I saw, right? Sorry, I'm just reading. Right, I'm going to have to get back to you on this, because I 100%... Do you know what? Let me do this again, and I'll just show it you. Translate. Oh, that's not English. Right, how do I change? How did you... No, how do I change? How do I change it? Translate from... No, not from English. From... Right, I'm going to have to get back on this, because it's not. I don't want to leave you guys. I don't want to leave you guys on the. I don't want to leave you guys on the down low. Sophia Stark is saying the 2022 ad scandal in November 22, Balenciaga released a gift shop campaign for the children holding a teddy bear dressed in bondage gear. Listen, right? Look, guys, I don't need to. This is just weird, right? This is weird how and I've not updated my phone for a while, so maybe I'm running the old. Maybe I don't know. Look, guys, I don't. The Google Translate on my computer is not working the same as the Google Translate on my phone. Doesn't matter. Let's just continue, ladies and gentlemen. I will do when I find out what the problem is, I will do I'll do a live stream on that. Ball is king, Balenciaga. Anglo Machiavelli is saying everybody is getting red pilled in real time. I love it. They wouldn't do magic if it didn't work. This is where I've been going. Right? You know, with all these alleged, and I still can't get my mind around it, right? You know, the alleged things that, like bad things that happen to children? You know, that sort of stuff? They wouldn't be doing this if it didn't work. So what does it work and what does it invoke? Expand your thinking. I don't want to expand my thinking. Listen, I just hit the buddies at the house. What's his name? Hefner. I just went down the Hefner's bunny rabbit hole. Bandagain is saying, I knew a bunny club girl many years ago, a 10-10 blonde. I never got in that. Right, okay. Silly Gallardi is saying back. I think she means ball. I think the autocorrect got her. Although it may be back, I don't know. He's mentioned a lot in the Bible as King Solomon worshipped it regardless the fact he built the temple, his house was cursed. It's all crazy. I just want to build spaceships, right? I don't want to worship like anyone, right? I just want to get up in the morning. Honestly, I want to get up in the morning. I want to do my work on a Friday. I want a few sherbets. By sherbets, I mean alcoholic beer. Like I said, beers. Like I say, I'm not on TikTok now. I want a few beers on the weekend, right? I want to take the kids out. I want to go to work I want to go on holiday. I build spaceships. Ultimately, that's where I want to see humanity going. But I think somebody commented earlier. I can't find where it is. Somebody commented earlier that they wouldn't do magic if it didn't work. And I can't believe I'm going down. I can't even believe I'm saying this. Honestly, I can't believe I'm even saying this. I can't believe I'm even saying this. You know, because like when you start to analyze things, right? When you start to analyze things, you say, right, okay, I don't know. That is the same stainless steel straw. There's only so many uses for that stainless steel straw. Right, okay. And it's there. And then somebody comes and they say, oh, yeah, that's a hairbrush. And you're like, it's not a fucking hairbrush. It's a stainless steel straw. Nobody buys a stainless steel straw to brush their hair. Right? So you start to apply logic to this stuff, right? You start to apply logic to this stuff. You start to apply objective analysis. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, all my objective analysis has gone out the window. I'm just calling all conspiracies, as far as I'm concerned, right? All conspiracies are true, right? We've got reptilian overlords drinking people's blood. And, you know, and there's like satanic cults are ruling the world. I'm just going with it. Like, you can't read these Epstein files and you can't not put the symbolism together. Oh, I remember watching like a documentary, a wild conspiracy on YouTube about people who wear red shoes and the significance of wearing red shoes. Oh, oh, and then you look in Epstein's house and there's like loads of pictures with like people with what appears to be, I don't know, red paint on their feet. Could the red shoes symbolize that they are the ones that walk in the blood, that they are the ones that are above the sacrificial layers because they're more powerful, because we and that's how we simplify it, because we wear red shoes? That's just my speculation. And look, if I went half of what's got running through my head right now, like you guys would think Alex, you guys would be calling Alex Jones, right? And you guys would be saying, Alex, go calm Sean down. He's gone full mental. He's gone full mental. Sean's gone mental. Right, I'm going to jump to the bottom, guys. Then I'm going to jump onto some current events that things are happening. Sean, you said yesterday that you couldn't do this deep dive. Yeah, I know. I couldn't help myself. I really couldn't help myself. What happened is earlier on, right? Earlier on, I was searching the internet for stuff to talk about, and what I realized is stuff I talk about, a lot bigger channels talk about it like a couple of days afterwards. So I was noticing that there were other channels on X, on YouTube. They were talking about stuff that we've talked about a couple of days ago. So that perked me up a little bit, because they had like the images, and they had guests on, and they were all talking about it. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm clearly on the right track, yeah? We are clearly on the right track. We are just ahead of everyone else. Everyone else is on catch-up, right? Wait till you find out about Andrew Tate and his brother. Just saying it once, guys. I'm just saying it once. I'm just saying it once. Who do you think took over from Epstein? I'm just saying it, guys. I don't know. I don't know. You think all those servers that he had from the webcam girls, do you think that, what information do you think's on those servers? Red shoes are made of skin? Yeah, like, what, you mean human skin? Or are we talking about, like, what skin are we talking about? Because, like, I think you mean, Sharon, do you mean humans? I don't know if they are made of human skin. Maybe the original ones were. I don't think they'd get, I don't know. I don't know. The red bottom shoes and Nike shoes are supposed, oh, God. See, this is what I'm thinking now. Because once you start looking at this stuff, and you know the wild conspiracies? You know the wild conspiracies? The wild conspiracies, right? When one of them gets proven right, you can't discard the others. You can't discard the others. Oh, this is a good one, yeah. The sun reaching Capricorn on December the 21st stays at the same angular speed 3 days. 25th starts to proceed inward gradually, higher the Cancer. The sun dies on the 21st and is resurrected on the 25th of the Black Sabbath. Yes, also I can add to that as well. So if you guys want to know the significance of Christmas Day, kind of got it here, the Jolly Man, but you've missed a few things out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why you guys are on here, right? If it's military, tanks, bombs, guns, trains, planes, automobiles, if it's the occult, if it's celestial movements, I'm giving it you all in real time. I don't know what these comments are going to be, but the sun does reach Capricorn on the 21st and stays in the same angular speed for 3 days. Excuse me. Which is where you start to get the nativity from, right? So the three kings followed the brightest star in the sky, right? So back in biblical times, when baby Jesus, and I love baby Jesus is the best, the best. I always like, when people say Jesus, you can think of like, there's 3 Jesuses people think of, right? You think of baby Jesus, Jesus the carpenter, and Jesus on the cross, right? My favorite Jesus is baby Jesus. Baby Jesus. So we're now starting to unpick the origins of the origins of the nativity. So on the 25th of December, okay, so the three kings, right? We three kings are traveling so far, one in a taxi, one in a car. I don't know what it goes like. So the three kings followed the brightest star in the sky, right? So in biblical times, 2026 years ago, or 25 and a month ago, or whatever, the brightest star in the sky at that time was, guess what? The brightest star in the sky right now, which is Sirius, which is in the constellation of Orion. Now, Orion's belt was also known, if you look at it, was also known as, the Three Kings. So if you follow Orion's belt roughly 7 times the width of the belt, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, in a line down, you will come to a bright star. Now, that star is Sirius, the brightest star in the sky. There's no denying it, guys. Anything that's brighter than Sirius is a planet. That's how you know. So the brightest star in the sky back then was Sirius. Three kings for... Okay, and the way that you know that you are... So on the 25th of December, the days start to get longer. Now, where Sirius lies perfectly on the night sky at dawn. So if you imagine the night sky at dawn, you've got the constellation, the night sky just before dawn. The night is darkest just before the dawn. You have the constellation of Orion, the three kings pointing to Sirius. You have Sirius, and Sirius is perfectly, it's so perfect, it's unbelievable. Sirius is perfectly aligned east, perfect east, and the sun rises, so the new sun is born under the bright star that the three kings were following. So now you get the story of the nativity, right? Which is an old pagan ritual. Now, the significance of that is because in ancient times, thousands of years ago, when we didn't have clocks and internet, we had to plan our world by the stars, because the stars are a calendar, right? And when that happens, they know that day, that particular day, daylight starts to get a little bit longer. And that is when, in old paganism, the Oak King defeats the Holly King, and then you come into the summer months, and then you get the 6 months of the Holly King, of the Oak King. Anyway, I went down on a bit of a side quest there, ladies and gentlemen. I did. I understand that sometimes I go on side quests. You know I'm a space geek. You do. You guys know I'm a space geek. The Dark Sun. I don't know what the Dark Sun is. I also love Jesus and think he was a very smart and beautiful Jew. Well, are we all? What does that mean, silly? What does that mean? Listen, I just think who's building the best spaceships? Right, have we got beef? Right, guys, have we got beef on the chat? Hang on, I hope we've not got beef on the chat. I don't think we've got the original Big Brillo is saying, Sean talking useless as usual. What I've actually just said, what I've just said about star alignment, is that BS? Literally, go and Google it. Go and Google where Sirius is on the on the night of the 24th and the morning of the 25th. Literally, go and Google it. It'll blow your mind. Black Sabbath is connected. He's dead. Okay, I don't think you mean. Are you talking about Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, or are you talking? I don't know what that means. Are you talking about Ozzy Osbourne? I don't know. Louis Ackers is saying, give the crowd circus and bread. They'll never question the narrative. Well, that saying failed. I don't think it has failed. I don't think it has failed, really. If by circus and bread we mean war and free money, I would say those two things are coming in abundance. What better way to stop people revolting? Just give them free money. Literally, give them enough money so they won't revolt, but don't give them too much money so they can think for themselves. And look, guys, I'm going to put this out there to you as well. You got some hashtag hashtag Raven Real Talk coming now. You hearing me, fam? By my analysis, you have got a maximum. Do you know what? I want to say a maximum of 12 months, but then I'm thinking, right, 12 months. Certainly before the next election, right, in the United Kingdom. I would say you've got a maximum of 12 months. Maybe a maximum of like 24 months, 36 months. But if you don't have your shit in order, if you don't have a plan within the next 12 months, and I know that sounds like you've got a long time, but you really haven't. You really haven't. What, next month it's going to be spring? Next month, is it going to be spring next month? No, it's not going to be soon. Like, spring's going to be soon, right? Spring's going to be soon, and then you're going to be like thinking about summer. You're going to be going to the pub. You're going to be forgetting about things. These global agendas are still going to be moving forwards, ladies and gentlemen. They don't give a shit about you. They don't. Like, they really don't. Do you think Davos, World Economic... Do you think these, like, global... If there is, and I don't know if there is, but do you think there's like, if there's like a global elite somewhere controlling the world, do you think they care about you and your shit? Maybe they do. Maybe they do. Willow Palmer is saying only days left for the ungodly. Right, listen, guys. I will read this because I've got it up. Don't start spamming with biblical text, okay? It just like, I'm not, oh God. Right. William Palmer, right? Out of respect, I'm going to read both your messages, right? If you put another one up, you're going in timeout, right? So you can come on the chat, you can talk. If you're just going to be spamming biblical texts, like in capitals, you're going in timeout, okay? And I mean, no disrespect. So only days left for the ungodly. I think you've got caps lock, right? You've got caps lock on, and you wanted to put that in capitals, but you forgot, and you pressed caps, and you actually spelt it in lowercase. But whatever, we'll just go with it. So, only days left for the ungodly. Judgment day is now here upon all you nations and all you. I am the will of the Almighty, creator in the heavens and the earth himself, Yahuwah. So I think that's how you wanted that to come out. Right, where's your other comment? Right, you did another comment. All right. I have held back the snow in Salt Lake City area as a sign of judgment. Judgment day is now here. I am the will of the Almighty, the creator, the heavens, and the earth himself. Yahweh. I feel like I am the will of the Almighty. Like, how can you be the will of the Almighty if I feel like I'm the will of the Almighty? Hey, listen, guys, when we were talking about protection and stuff, I actually looked at Cleethorpes today on Google Maps. I did. I looked at Cleethorpes today on Google Maps, and the more I look at it, the more I think it's like it's a perfect stronghold. So we can totally Israel that place. We can go full Israeli on that place, and it wouldn't be so. For example, the population of Cleethorpes and Grimsby is 140, under 150,000. I think 146,000. Now, with that number of people, I could really militarize that. So what I think I'm going to do, right? I think we'll do it together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send an email, right? I'm going to send an email to the mayor or whoever's the leading councillor in Grimsby. And I'm just going to say to him, I'm going to put my credentials on there, which are pretty impressive. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to share with you guys my credentials because you know who I am. But I'll share my credentials. I'll say, listen, mate, this is me. I've done this. I've identified Grimsby and Cleethorpes and Grimsby as a potential stronghold if there is a civil conflict in the United Kingdom. Would you be willing to meet me? First of all, in private. Second of all, would you be willing to meet me and we could do a video about it? And then I would, I would talk to him. We could walk around Grimsby, walk around Cleethorpes. I do think I'm going to go this weekend and just look at how to fortify Cleethorpes. Because if and as wild as this sounds, as absolutely bonkers. And there's people on this chat. Who's the guy who I had to block? Someone who was saying, Sean, I would follow you to the end, but now I want to fight you because I don't like what do people want me to do? Do you want me to say grab a sword and go go Lord of the Rings? Don't do that. Absolutely do not do that. Do not do that. What I've always said on this channel, right, is things need to be done legally. And they do. But people don't understand that there's a lot of leeway in the law to do things legally, right? That's why people get away with so much. There's always a legal route to do something. And I know that sounds like to do something legally, obviously. So, for example, Danny Tomo and all his mates went out and they were doing great videos. They were filming themselves, doing whatever. It's done now. It's over. It's finished. They ain't going back. The boats are going to continue. I said, no, what you actually need to do is you need to set up an NGO in northern France. The alpha mission of the main mission, the number one intent of your mission will be to provide security and monitoring for the people of northern France, ticking the box for everyone because you're helping the police. And the secondary mission is environmental, to clean the beaches. Any rubber dinghies, any outboard motors, any diesel engines, any crisp packets, you clean it all up. You stop the boats. Nobody cared because people want to see this big army. You want to see this 1,000 men. No, we're going to march down and get arrested. I'm going to spend the rest of my life in jail. My kids are going to not have a dad while I'm in jail eating 3 meals a day. That's what people want. I ain't down for that, guys. I am absolutely not down for that. What I am down for is proper white man shit, which is building worlds. That's what I'm down for. Building worlds, building communities, growing things. So that whole area in northeast Lincolnshire. The whole area of Cleethorpes and Grimsby in northeast Lincolnshire, it's absolutely fantastic for Yes, I have. Yes, I've actually got this here. Give me a second. So there was a massive solar ejection. There was a massive. I'll get it up actually. It's one of the things I was going to talk about. This one. So earlier on today, I'll share this with you. This is from BBC Skywatch, and I know what you guys are going to be saying. It's fake news, but. Right, I'm sorry, you have to go. Oh, no, that's not him. No, right, okay, I didn't. Right, okay. Have you not heard about the Carrington effect? Right, so, ladies and gentlemen, okay. So, it looks like in, I think, 3 days, there could be a massive solar... There could be, in 3 days, there could be a massive solar flare hit the world, actually. So, this is the article here. I'm gonna turn it off because there's loads of ads, right? But I'll read it to you now, okay? Increased aurora possibly this week as NASA records multiple strong solar flares erupting from the sun. Now, this doesn't happen. solar flares erupting happens quite frequent in the context that like couple a year. I think we've had like 4 released in the last couple of hours. Yeah, 4. So 4 strong solar flares erupted from the sun on the 1st and 2nd of February 2026, meaning we could be in for an increased aurora activity in the days leading up to the 5th of February. So like 2 days, actually, 2 days. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory captured the images of the event. Right, let me see if I can. Oh, God, I'm definitely going to share this. I am definitely sharing this. This is powerful. I mean, do you know what? When I look at that, first of all, I'm thinking, that's got to be digitally enhanced, right? That has to be digitally enhanced. But anyway, whatever. So you've got the first on the top left, the second on, do you know what? I don't even know. I don't know. Anyway, so you've got these, these solar events that have been happening. And look, whether we believe it's real, whether you guys think that's CGI or whatever, it doesn't really matter. What matters is the perception is that there are right now huge balls of plasma heading towards the Earth. And the Carrington event means there was a place in America, I think it was, that got hit by called Carrington. I don't think I'm wrong. I think it was America. A place in America called Carrington. It got hit by a huge solar flare, and it was like frying all the electrics and stuff. Right, let me jump to the bottom because there's loads of stuff on here. David King is saying it was 3i Atlas that activated it. Remember, it was. Liv and Leah is saying this is a rather psychedelic video today. It is. It's called. Listen, I make no apologies, right? When all the conspiracy theories that you hear of when you find out they're all true. Anyone now, if somebody comes up to me with a conspiracy, I'm just going to say, yep, that's true. I'm not even going to question it anymore. I'm not going to question it. Band again is, hang on a minute. Is there no planetary alignment on the 21st of this month? I think give me a second. I think there's also a massive planetary alignment on the 21st of this month. Jesus Christ, no. The 28th of this month. Jesus Christ, that's a full moon as well. Oh my God. Right, okay. Things are getting weirder, right? So I'm just reading this off the internet, right? I'll share it with you. A rare planetary alignment on the... Yeah, I'll agree to the cookies. Saturday, the 28th of February, which is also a full moon. It's also a full moon. So Saturday, the 28th of February is a date being promoted for seeing 6 planets in the evening sky. On February the 28th, we shall see not 1, not 2, but 6 planets in the evening sky. Right, Aaliyah Lee on the Space Agency's Watch the Skies blog. Mercury, Venus, Neptune, Saturn, remember Saturn represents Satan, Uranus and Jupiter will appear shortly after sunset. Wow. Yeah, I knew, and it's going to be a full moon. So I knew there was something happening this month with a planetary alignment. Andy, Yorkshire is saying, see you at Hoover Stand then. So for those of you guys who don't know, I don't know, many people will know, but there is a large telescope at Hoover Stand, which is about 20 minutes away from where we live. It's where I used to live. There's a telescope there. I think it's run by there's an astronomical society who run it. But listen, there's a little segue. I'm thinking about doing a crowdfunder. I'm thinking about doing a crowdfunder because those of you guys who know, right, I am a space geek. I am a massive space geek. I just like giving you guys celestial rundowns of stars and planets and all sorts of stuff. And I did that off the top of my head. Why be Kev Mills is saying, what was it Kev Mills say somewhere? Jack Polanski is an expert on Uranus. He is. Like, you know that guy, Jack Polanski? Is he a joke? Is he a joke? Anyway, so the when I built my extension that I'm sat in now, my initial thoughts for my extension was I'm gonna build an observatory, right? I'm gonna build an actual observatory, you know, with a white thing, and you got a little motor or maybe a little wheel, and you turn it one way and then turn it the other way, and then you turn the other wheel. And but I ran out of money, right? I ran out of money. And now I've just got a leaky roof because the bit where I wanted it to be an observatory, I built that flat to have the observatory on. So I'm in two minds now, right? First of all, it's probably going to cost at least, like, to get a good telescope, you know, like, I don't mean like a kid's toy that you get from, like, I don't know, wherever. I mean like a real piece of machinery, an industrial scale telescope. And I was thinking, right, should I just get the roof done, or should I do like a crowdfunder and like bring kids in and try and teach them about space and stuff, or like just let schools come and use it? Because I'm totally fine with that, you know, because I do think, honestly, and I really do believe in this, and those of you guys who've been watching me for a while, you'll know that I genuinely do. I'm not just saying it. I believe the future is in space. I think that all these wars that we're having around the Earth are ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I think that rather than teaching children stupid stuff at school, we should be teaching them about stars. Well, maybe stars. We should teach them about astrophysics. We should be teaching them about the future, you know, and what we can achieve. What we can achieve if we want to. Do you know, I actually know one of the guys who was heading it up. I don't think he's heading it up anymore. There was going to be a spaceport, I think, in... What's the island off the north coast of Scotland? It's not the fair... Shetlands, in the Shetland Islands. So there was going to be I don't know what's happening with it now, but I know that he's a good guy, actually. I've got him on my phone, but I know him, and he was heading up, and there was going to be Britain was going to build a spaceport in the Shetland Islands. Now that would have been a perfect location to launch, to launch stuff from. I think Labour will have cancelled it because we have to pay for migrants and stuff. On that bombshell, right? My friend phoned me up today. Well, he didn't phone me. He sent me a message. My friend sent me a message earlier. My friend in Ukraine, right? This is how wild this is, right? My friend in Ukraine sent me a message that our mutual friend had sent him, and our mutual friend is in New York, right? I'm from New York, Sean. I'm from New York. I want a pizza. I think, anyway. So he sent me a message. So he sent my friend a message in Ukraine, said, ask Sean if this is real. Do you know what the message, do you know what the link was? He sent him a link to the article. The link was to the British countryside is too white, right? So I phoned my friend up straight away. I phoned him up. I said, who sent you that? He said, I'm not going to mention his name. He said, it's so-and-so. He sent me a link. He said, is this true or is this bullshit? I said, no, it's true. He said, what do you mean? Countryside is too white. How is countryside too white? I said, well, in the countryside, we've got pubs and the Muslims don't like pubs. He said, what do you mean? Well, don't go to pub if you don't like it. They fucking stupid. I didn't say that. I'd never say that. I was a Ukrainian friend. I said, well, yeah, but, you know, there's dogs in the countryside and Muslims don't like dogs. And there's like, you know, livestock and pigs roaming around and Muslims don't like that. He's like, Sean, are you taking piss? I said, no, mate, I'm being serious. He said, how does this happen? I said, well, what happens is they come over on boats and we pay for them to stay in hotels. And then the next thing, because they've come over in the boats and we're paying for them the hotels, we're not allowed to walk our dogs in the countryside. And we both just cracked out laughing. Honestly, when you say it out loud, like, honestly, when you say these things out loud, you just start laughing, right? You're in hysterical fits of laughter. So we're both laughing, and then I was laughing at him about how like ridiculous the situation in Ukraine is, and we're you know, it was just ridiculous. Oh, hang on. West Ham has become a member. Thank you so much, West Ham, for becoming a member. Right, West Ham also. West Ham. Is West Ham near Aston Villa? Are West Ham and Aston Villa like, are they like derby teams? I don't know. But listen, West Ham 80. If you go onto my members only videos, what we're trying to do at the moment with our members only videos, we are making Swedish vodka. Now, I'm pretty well. I did another video earlier. The initial run didn't go right. So for you, you know, you'll get it real easy. We've done, I think it's 10 liters, right? Well, I don't know how it's going to come out, so I'm going to caveat this. We're doing this at the moment as like a little experiment. We're doing it as a team, #membership team. And I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I think, because I wanted to do this the cheapest I could, so I think we've done 10 liters of Swedish vodka for like, it's got to be like £2.50 or something. It's got to be at like £2.50 or something. But anyway, go and check out that video. Midnight is saying you are full of it. What, vodka? No, I've not had any. I have not had any vodka tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I've got some beer. It's not ready. I did 40 bottles. I did 40 bottles of beer. I've got another, I think I've got 55, just under 55 liters to go in kegs. So, have I got one? Yeah, I've got one here. Give me a second. Yeah, so I've got another 55 liters to put in kegs. But you know what, Midnight? You know when it is in kegs, I will absolutely be full of it. I will. I'll be sat here and I'll be going. I drink lots of beer with vodka chaser. So yeah, I will absolutely be doing that. Right, let me. Right, I think I'm gonna close this down now, guys. And Sherry Heppelstone is saying, "Sure, my Swedish vodka is bubbling away." So yeah, Sherry's one of the people who did this with me. Look, guys, I don't know what the results are going to be. I really don't know what the results are going to be on this Swedish vodka. I wanted it to be as cheap as possible without any fancy equipment. Because you know when you'd go on these like tutorials, right? You know, they do these tutorials and they say, yes, and then I use my conical fermenter. And you're like, where the fuck did you get that from? And you're like, and then you Google it and they're like $2,000. And you're like, I haven't got one of them. So I wanted to do something for you guys that you could do with everyday items you've got around the house, which I think we're going to get there in the end anyway. Right, let me jump down. Right, listen, guys, I've waffled on for far too long. I've been waffled on for far too long. I'm going to close this down now, right? I keep saying I'm not going to talk about the Epstein files anymore, but I probably will. So as it is right now, I am just saying, as far as I'm concerned, all conspiracy theories, right? If somebody says one to me, I'm just going to say it's true, right? Until somebody debunks it. I'm sick of debunking them and them becoming true. There is a global shift. Now, What comes next? It could be better. It could be worse. It's probably going to be worse. Tied up is better, but I don't know. But what I think is happening, well, what you can see is happening. There's a definite move. There's a definite change, and they're probably, whoever this global elite is, right? And I mean the top of the pyramid. They're like 100 people that run everything. They're probably going to move to Ukraine. That's where they're going to move, I think, anyway. I think they're going to move to Ukraine. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to close this down now. You guys, of course, have been fantastic. If you're on and you've not done so already, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my stuff. Thank you for the thank you for becoming thank you, West Ham, for becoming a member. Thank you, all the members, and I will be back on tomorrow morning at 10. Yes, I will. Back on tomorrow morning at 10 after the gym, and I'll see you guys there. Don't be late.